Hey everybody, it's Sunday, so we're back with another edition of Storytime. I have with me this week another type of mountain horn lizard. Yes, I know the last few videos I've done mountain horn lizards, but I got three really different cool types in. The first one was the ornate crested dragon, which was from the Gonocephalus genus. I did another one with the Natalia's mountain horn lizard, which is an Acanthosaur genus. And then I have this guy, which was labeled when I got him as an Acanthosaur capra, which is just your standard mountain horn dragon. But the more I'm looking at the cool patterns on his back and some of the cool eyeshadow guys going out there and the mixes of orange in his body, I think he might be Acanthosaur lepidogastr. So it's kind of hard to know because where these guys come from, there are just tons of different types of mountain horn dragons. Nonetheless, he is super cool and he just flew onto my camera to try for his close-up. But these are a really, really cool species. And just like the ones I've shown you in the previous couple weeks, these are a very easy to take care of lizard. My favorite thing about them, especially when they're this small, is how they just love using your fingers as a perch. Literally, I just hold my hand out like a thumbs up and he just sits there and hangs on and likes looking around. Every once in a while, if he gets a little bit spooked, he'll make a jump from my shoulder or my head, and he likes to get up as high as he can to perch and look at things. Now, just like the other different types of mountain horn lizards we looked at the previous couple weeks, this guy likes temperatures between about 68 to about 74 on average with a basking spot of around 82-ish, maybe not much more than 85. So these are what we'd call like a more cooler temperature reptile, who really, as a defense mechanism, they're mainly looking at their camouflage to blend in and then their ability to run and jump. They're really not a biter. In fact, I have never been bit by a mountain horn lizard ever in 20 years of working with them. Again, they just like to jump and run to try to get away from everything. They're not going to be aggressive. The only time most lizards like this get aggressive is if they really feel like they're being attacked. And as I've explained before with handling reptiles, I like the more open hand method, letting them kind of make their own decisions. So like when I want to move them, I don't grab at them. I just kind of go underneath and let him grab onto me instead. Now, if he starts to get away, yes, I will go to pick him up, but he struggles a little bit more when I do this, and I can tell from his body language he doesn't like it as much. So again, I like using more like open hand method. This allows him to go ahead and make some decisions for himself. Now, like the other mountain horn lizards, these guys do come from Southeast Asia. So they are a jungle lizard. They're part of the agama family, so sometimes they're called a horned agama, a mountain horned agama. We call them mountain horned dragons. Sometimes they're called mountain horned lizards or just mountain lizards. Literally, just like with any other animal, there are dozens of common names depending on where you come from. So sometimes we just use scientific names. If you've ever noticed in the store, a lot of times, especially with our inverts, we mainly use scientific names because something as simple as, say, a curly hair tarantula might actually have 8 different common names. So sometimes we just use the scientific. So a lot of times when I'm describing mountain horn lizards like this, I am using a generalization and just covering the entire Acanthosaur genus because it's so varied and there's so many different kinds. And when you want to tell the difference between them, you have to really start looking again at the differences on their back patterns, the different splashes of color, and then really looking at the horns. The typical capra that we carry, Acanthosaur capra, usually has a horn coming off the back of each eye crest. This guy doesn't. He actually has it more at the back end of his jaw, just on the backside of his tympanum. So this was something that kind of clued me in that he wasn't our typical mountain horn lizard. So did a little bit of digging before I got on here and found out that he's most likely a, I already forgot the name of it. Starts with an L, lepidogastr. I can't remember. Sorry, been a very long day. But yes, but still in that mountain horn lizard family. So he's a really good lizard. He's just going to sit with me here while we go ahead and do our story. And this week, I found a really funny book at the Capital Area District Library called There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Worm by Lucille Calandro. So we're going to go ahead and perch this guy over here. I'll try to hold my thumb up while I read the story and also show you our book. So there was an old lady who swallowed a worm. If I can get the pages. There we go. All right. There was an old lady who swallowed a worm. I don't know why she swallowed the worm, but she started to squirm. There was an old lady who swallowed some dirt. It was just like dessert when she swallowed the dirt. She swallowed the dirt so the worm could wiggle. I don't know why she swallowed the worm, but she started to squirm. There was an old lady who swallowed a flower. It was not sour, that pretty pink flower. She swallowed the flower to plant in the dirt. She swallowed the dirt so the worm could wiggle. I don't know why she swallowed the worm, but she started to squirm. There was an old lady who swallowed a bee. It happened quickly when she swallowed the bee. She swallowed the bee to rest on the flower. She swallowed the flower to plant in the dirt. She swallowed the dirt so the worm could wiggle. I don't know why she swallowed the worm, but she started to squirm. There was an old lady who swallowed a bird. Oh, how absurd to swallow a bird. She swallowed the bird to fly with the bee. She swallowed the bee to rest on the flower. She swallowed the flower to plant in the dirt. She swallowed the dirt so the worm could wiggle. I don't know why she swallowed the worm, but she started to squirm. There was an old lady who swallowed a tree. She was on a spree when she swallowed that tree. She swallowed the tree so the bird would not flee. She swallowed the bird to fly with the bee. She swallowed the bee to rest on the flower. She swallowed the flower to plant in the dirt. She swallowed the dirt so the worm could wiggle. I don't know why she swallowed the worm, but she started to squirm. There was an old lady who swallowed a quilt. She felt no guilt as she swallowed that quilt. Then she hopped on her bike and shouted, "Hooray!" She could not wait to celebrate Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. I know it's not Earth Day, but this was still a really fun book. I think I've read a couple books by Lucille Calandro before because the rhyming scheme is very, very similar, and I love tongue twisters. So this was just a fun book. No deep meaning to it. Just like we have a really, really fun lizard who the only really deep meaning about him is just figuring out exactly what type of Cathosaur he is. So I hope you guys had fun learning about our little mountain horn dragon friend. And I hope you had fun with our book. There was an old lady who swallowed a worm. We'll see you guys next time.